Hi everyone, I am back with my 4for4 series card making process. It is the last video to Janet from RTS's 4for4 series. It's video number 5, I think. I'll link it down below. This has been long in the making. I think I've had some things happen throughout the year and I just kind of didn't end up doing it. So I put it by the wayside and I got occupied with other things. But the wonderful thing about this type of project is that as long as you keep track of like what number patterns your pieces of paper were, then you have no problem picking up right where you left off and you can just follow along with her video and finish up the 4 cards. I did start with 8.5 by 11 cardstock and I am going to come back and fold these in half, and I am going to come back with these 2 pieces cut. I believe this one gets cut and this one gets cut as well. And if you want information to how small you cut these, like I said, I'll put her video down in the description box below and I'll go ahead and come back when I do that process. So we'll see you in a bit. Here I am with all my pieces cut, and I distributed all the pieces that I ended up cutting on my cards the way that Janet had suggested. And so I do have pieces we can or don't have to use. It's all according to how you like your design. This is my number 1 paper right here with the cameras, and I just turned it over and I thought I might play around with this camera piece. Maybe make edges with the hexagon on this side and then put them on either side to make like a fun edge on this card. And then I was even thinking of doing like a banner to cut in here and then maybe a sentiment over that. And then this is the remnant that was cut from this pattern. So part of this paper went to the card number 2, and then I cut this at a 5.5 inch strip. This is the 2 by 12 that we had, and then one of the halves of this strip went to card number 1 and one to card number 3. So I was thinking of doing this chevron going across like this and maybe doing an L-shaped design or something of that sort. I'm not quite sure what I might do. I don't know if I might even use this side. I'm not quite sure. So because that's a lot of gray, and I don't think I wanted to. I might end up using that side because I do like this diagonal and I do like this stripe. Maybe even the green. That's really playful. I like that. Or maybe even place it right across there and do a scallop on the punch with this one. So that looks more like something I might end up using. And then the 4th card, so that's sort of the design that I was thinking for this card. And that's the beauty of this technique with the 4for4, because I had a lot of problems with these patterns, and this is just something that I could use. As long as I move around the paper, I can decide whether or not I want to use it and then just have these out of my inventory. This way I have 4 more pieces of paper from this paper collection left, and I'm thinking about doing the 4for4 once more with this yellow, which is easier to use, this diagonal green. More than likely I'm going to use this chevron, not diagonal. This blue polka dot, I can either do either or because my son loves orange and I love this orange stripe, and more than likely I'd end up using it for this. I love the contrast of the color of the blue on this side, but more than likely it'll be this, the stripe. And then let's see what was on it. Yeah, I might end up using them like this. So I'm gonna try to do the 4for4 once more with these 4 sheets. And as far as leftovers go from the 4for4 series, this was all the paper that I had left. You can see all the different patterns, and if I think I need something different or a touch to add, then I can probably use these pieces as well. I'm not gonna, exclude that from using them. I also have leftovers from this kit. I had made another page previously with this paper pack in mind. This is from the, I don't know if you remember because I did this a while back, and this is from the quoted 12 by 12 page kit by Teresa Collins for We Are Memory Keepers. Janet made this 4for4 card series, this video that I'm following, July 2018. So it's been well over, or it's almost going to be a whole year since she did this, and I know that I didn't try it straight away, so I'm kind of late in the game. And also she did a second series in the fall, and I can't wait to try and do that one as well. So I'm going to not limit myself to just these papers. My goal is to end up using the 4for4 paper patterns that we used. If I don't end up using this, that's okay with me. These will just end up in the trash. If I end up using any of this extra to go with the cards, as far as like punch outs or die cuts or anything of the sort, that's fine with me also. And I have have these 2 sticker pages that came in the paper pack, and I could make up my sentiment, or I can use some of these words or these fun shapes also. So I'm gonna have this here to use as inspiration. As far as the video goes, she's talking about what comes next after cutting all the pieces of paper and putting them with their respective card. I had already cut, I don't know if I mentioned it, I cut 2 8.5 by 11 pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to start my card making. She starts initially by saying you can play around with the paper and no sweat, right? So I think I'm gonna cut this down a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna have it cover the whole card, because then it ends up looking really wonky for me. And I wanna clean up the edges a little bit, because I think I had a blade on my paper trimmer that wasn't cutting so straight. And then I'll put the process of all 4 cards, putting them together on fast forward, and then you can see me do the process. And hopefully I'll be able to do a voiceover in order for me to explain what I did. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it on fast forward now. So I started cleaning up the edges of the paper because my paper trimmer has an old blade. I think I mentioned that before. And I am starting to layer the pieces, and it really was just that easy, where she says that I just went with it. I had such a problem with this whole collection, and I saw that it had an inspiration page. I just couldn't put all of these different patterns together, and it was making it very hard for me to use. And so this was a perfect option for me to do the 4for4 series with this collection, because it just takes the thinking right out of it. I was thinking about using those sunglasses over the smiley, but it says Hello Sunshine, and that's why I thought the glasses were a good addition. And so I put them over to the side, and I was able to use one of those flag banners as a, what do they call it? Like a foundation for my little cluster. And I did add some yellow enamel dots. Here's another one that I thought, I used the pattern in itself to help me with some dimension or texture for the card. And then I was going to start it going vertically, the card, but then I did it horizontally because I remembered that I needed a card for Father's Day. So I don't have this one anymore, and I won't be able to share it in my monthly layout project share stuff. But I was getting the stickers I was able to read them, but they were getting a bit lost, and I didn't want my father-in-law to have a hard time reading Father's Day on there. So I did the line really thick, and it was really, there was a big contrast in it, and it was more legible after I did the pen lining. So I really liked how that page came out. I even managed to use some smiley washi that I didn't think I was gonna use, and I ended up making a page for a card, for my dad, father-in-law. I did like the combination of these colors. I'm not a big card maker, and so it was hard to think of like very simple things to do in order for me to get some sort of structure to it. I did decide to make a flag and use this stub punch to corner punch the edge of the yellow honeycomb pattern. And I did end up pulling out a couple of things only because I was having trouble layering stuff from the sticker, and so I felt like I needed some sort of different dimension, and I used a couple of other tools, but that didn't take long in the making. Since I made the foundation, it was just easy for me to embellish after the fact. And so here's another one, and I'm using up my old stash as well, so it's a win-win situation. I did use the scallop punch just to give the cards some variety. If I wanted to make this a set to give to someone, they could have easily gone together because the colors or the collection is the same, and they would all have very different looks to the card, which made for a great little gift set. But I do intend on mailing these cards separately, and I used a little bit of dimensional foam and die cut, 2 different die cuts, and so, or 3 different die cuts, excuse me. And so I used the enamel dots to finish embellishing these cards, and I really ended up liking the look of all of them. I do show you all of the little pieces of scraps that I had right at the end of the cards, and it turned out great. I was able to make 2 horizontal and 2 vertical cards, which I wasn't expecting, and it's just it goes great for a different look or variety for your sets of cards if you want to make them as a whole. So here are some details for the cards. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check Janet at RTS's series, the 4for4 series. It is super easy to follow, and you'll have quick pages and cards right at the end. Thanks for watching. Bye.